everybody, how you guys doing? Charles here, and welcome to another great show. Okay, I'm excited. More than excited, because if you've seen one of my past shows, I had a great guest that came on. We talked about this phenomenal film, and I'm talking about phenomenal film. You got to watch it. We gave you little snippets. We gave you little things about the poster and everything else. So if you haven't seen it, go back and watch that. I had to bring her back on because this film is getting so much traction. So many people are talking about it. You can't miss out. So without further ado, what am I waiting for? Let's go.
Awesome to be back, Charles.
How you doing?
I'm so great. Thank you.
All right. So from the last time we did the interview, it's been getting so much traction. You know, people are talking about it. It's everywhere. It's going out. People are like, okay, tell us more, how we can get some tickets, the screening, everything. But I'm not going to get into it. I'm going to let you talk and give you a little snippet and tell them just a little bit. Just give them a little. That's all. Just give them a little bit.
About the movie? It's
a snippet.
Okay, quick. The movie's called Ray of Hope, and it's been Ryan Singh, who is the producer and director of the film, co-director. He's producer director of the film, and he and I have been working on this for 11 years now, and it's really taking the historical context and talking about the genocide of Tamils on the island nation that's currently known as Sri Lanka. And we really bring in so many people's perspectives. So many of us are this genocide was supposed to be a silent genocide, and we are breaking that silence and saying, not anymore. We are speaking on behalf of the hundreds of thousands who have completely lost their voices because they live under an oppressive regime, genocidal regime, or have paid the ultimate price and lost their lives. So it's woven beautifully with stories being told and some dance pieces, because I'm a dancer, and for me it was important to incorporate that dance. So we have a very, very special project that this film. And you're right, there's so much excitement for it now. We've got the screening coming, or the Gala premiere screening coming on May 5th. We have now been invited to over 7 film festivals, including screenings, more than 14 awards that we have been nominated for, and in Canada, US, UK. And we're just super excited to finally share this with the whole world.
Yes. And now, like you said, May 5th, you got to get your tickets. I'm going to put the link into the chat so everybody can just log on. It's actually in the description as well. Just hit the button, get your tickets. You don't want to miss it. And you're doing it big. You're not just doing, a movie screening. You know what I mean? It's like, you got to come out and enjoy yourself. It's
Yes. It's an evening. It's a red carpet gala lobby, red carpet reception experience, and it's a full sit-down dinner served, of course, by none other than Chef Selwyn, world-renowned Chef Selwyn, and the art of catering. And then you'll actually get to experience the full movie on a giant LED screen so we're excited to share it.
Oh, yeah. When Chef Selwyn is there, it's going down. Okay.
Yes. And Dr. Vibe's going to be there to moderate the Q&A with the cast and crew afterward as well.
Yeah, that's fantastic. You got great guys coming there. I know them very well, many years. So, we're not taking any shortcuts on this one. So what's going to happen right now is I have some special guests in the green room, that's watched the trailer. We're going to talk about it real quick. So let's bring them on. Here we go. One at a time. Let's go. Amira, how are you doing?
I am great. How are you doing?
I'm good. So thank you that you can join us today.
Thank you for having me.
And we're just going to keep it going. Let's go. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing very well. Thank you. Glad to be here.
All right. Some of my other special guests, you've seen them here before, so I just got to bring them on. Magda, what's just going on?
Thank you.
And definitely last but not least, Abby, you ready? Let's go. All right. So this is the ultimate panel. Like, I couldn't pick any better people. This is the ultimate panel right here. Guys, how you doing?
Very well. Thank you.
Beautiful. Good. An honor to be here.
There you go. All right. I'm going to start with you, Amira. Amira, you've seen the trailer?
Of course.
So talk to us a little about what was your first impression when you saw the trailer?
Oh my gosh, like I was in tears. I was actually with Rathaka when I watched the trailer the first time, and it got me in tears. And as a Palestinian undergoing a genocide for three-quarters of a century now, like it really spoke to my heart and my heritage. And Rathaka, what you're doing is incredibly important and so brave, so brave. It really takes so much guts to stand up and talk about such a painful experience that you have experienced firsthand. And you've done all of Tamil very proud. Your work is incredibly important, and it's an honor to know you, and it's an honor to to have watched the trailer with you also.
Thank you so much, Amira. I mean, what's happening to the Palestinians right now is what happened to us 15 years ago. And that's why it's so important for us as the team. And I'm so grateful that Ryan's on board fully to launch the film now in May, because this year is the 15th anniversary of May 2009, when the Tamil people were cornered into a little strip of land and mass massacred. So what's happening in Gaza is our 15 years ago. So I mean, we're sisters in so many levels, and another thread, another piece of this life weave that connects us, sister. So thank you. And this is what we need to do: is we need to be building bridges between and among communities and recognizing how we are all one, really. And we come together as allies and lift up and fight for one another, and fight with one another to make sure that there aren't any more oppressive regimes, genocidal regimes.
So I'm actually going to flip the script on you, Abby, right now. So usually I would ask you the question, but I want you to ask Radhika a question on the trailer that you just watched, because I know this is you. So go ahead. Let's flip the script on this one.
While watching, because we're all immigrants, I believe, and being never seen a war experience, but I'm an immigrant child who came to this country. One of the questions I was watching is, how does it feel? How watching was painful. And coming to this country in 1991 and having so much refugee at that time from Somalia, I'm Somali Ethiopian, from Rwanda, it felt I went back to that child again. So my question to you is, how was it for you to go back? I can just only feel me watching it. So I would like to know how it felt for you to go back.
Oh, geez. Well, I had left the war as a 5-year-old child, and I had become an activist since I was maybe 11 in the Tamil cause. And for me, I had so many credible death threats if I had ever gone back to the island nation. And so my parents would never let me go back. And so secretively, while I was a sitting member of parliament, I planned the trip. I booked my tickets, I did everything. And then only I told my parents. And to be there, I knew that there was a lot at stake. And Ryan traveling with me as well, he basically had to say his goodbyes to his wife and his 2 children to take this trip with me. And so his commitment and dedication to his craft of being a filmmaker was just mind-blowing for me. I was scared, to be honest. I didn't know what could happen. There's a lot of fear in everybody's hearts and minds when we went back. For me to go and to be able to meet my family and experience a little tiny taste of what they're experiencing every day was just eye-opening for me, and it just renewed my strength to want to do more, the need to do more, to tell the stories of the people who continue to live on that island and just how much oppression they live under. I mean, me being an elected member of parliament in Canada, and how much surveillance and oppression that I experienced while being there, just the people who don't have the privilege of being Canadian or the privilege of having the world's eye on them, how are they really treated on that island, right? absolutely it strengthened my resolve to do even more.
So Magda, I'm going to come to you and ask you, there was a part in the trailer that I was watching with the young teens, and just that. So I'm going to throw this one out to you. Why should young teens come watch this? Why do you think that we should call to action? Why should they all come and learn? And they say our history, and you learn from your history. So I'm asking you that question.
Yeah, thank you. I believe that we all, no matter what age we are and where we come from in the world or what our history, our personal history has been, we all genetically have these ancestral wounds. And I think that we watch this film, I got goosebumps when I watched the trailer because, again, I haven't been in a war zone. But I've heard the stories of my ancestors coming from South America, Colombia, where we were like wiped out. Our indigenous tribes have been completely wiped out. And unfortunately, it is not a unique story, right? And we need to learn once and for all that violence and trying to cut each other down is not the answer. And so for our youth, most of them who live, especially in these first world countries like we do here, we're very blind as to the reality of what's happening in the world, and we are responsible. And so for our generation, it's very important to begin to show the younger generations, this is what can happen when you lose sight of the real focus, which is to be with one another, to have a sense of justice, right? To know how to open your heart and to feel for each other, especially now with this digital world. I find that we become very desensitized, right? How easy is it to watch people being shot and then it's just like, it's just another video game. It's not. And what I love about this, I mean, I only saw the trailer, so I can't wait to see the movie, but what I saw even just from that is that you see the real reactions of teenagers, of youth, of people from every generation. My goodness, the one that made me lose it was, I think it's your grandmother who starts crying. It's just, oh my God. So no matter what age you are, you will be able to feel, and it's going to hit home for you, no matter what your story is. And that's what's so important for our young generation, to be in touch with it, to feel it, to smell it, to taste it, to live it through your eyes. Thank you, Rathika, really. Thank you.
Thank you for that. And we're telling the story not just through my eyes, it's really through 5 different generations of Tamils who are sharing their lived experiences. And it's been such a privilege to be able to really help tell their stories, and their individual stories adds to our collective stories. And we need to be documenting more of these evidences. Yeah.
So it's funny. Last time we talked, you're telling me how many years ago and everything. I'm like, I didn't even know. You know what I mean? Like sometimes you're clueless to see what's going on in the world or everybody's past history, because we all have our own past history. We learn our own past history. But unless it comes to movies like yours and trailers like yours, for us to go, wait a minute, that happened? Like, what's going on? Okay, wait a minute. I got to go find somebody. I know a friend like that. I didn't know that. They never said, like, you're learning. So I'm going to come to you, sir, and ask you, you watched it. What is exploded in your mind? Did you know this was going on? Did you learn about it? Did you learn a new thing? How did this trailer enlighten you and give you more knowledge?
First, it's an honor to share the screen with you all, especially Ratika and Ryan, for doing this documentary. For me, I can still remember vividly when the war was going on. That started in 1983. We all, again, followed it, on the news. We read about what was happening. And, and then we kind of, again, the war stopped in 2009 and we forgot about it. When Svetlana talked to me about the movie, I thought that, what? I am very glad that people like Ratika and Ryan took the time to actually document what happened, so that it is a reminder for us all. This is something that happened in history that we need to address, in the future. That these are, atrocities that happened. That was, a lot of, the civilians got caught into this war. It affected a lot of people. Minorities, in the community, in the Tamil community, suffered, from this war, and people have to be held accountable. Let's all, learn from what happened and let's, at our level, what we can do, make sure that, in the future, it doesn't happen again. Now we see in other parts of the world, similar war happening, but I'm very proud to see young generation, in a way standing up for these fights to say that, enough injustice, in this world. And we all have to, stand on the right side of history so that we prevent these things from happening. So again, congratulations to you, Ratika and Ryan, for documenting this, movie, which I'm looking forward to see on Sunday.
Awesome. Thank you. So
So once
excited.
again, he said it. Give us the date again. What's happening real quick? Because people are like, okay, I got to see this now. I got to come. You know what I mean? They're give them the information. When's it happening?
Absolutely. Sunday, May 5th at 5 p.m. That's when doors open for the red carpet reception. And then by 6, we'll get dinner and the rest of the event started.
So you have to be there. All right. So real quick.
And there's actually dance performances and a musical performance as well by young people who were part of the film. So the dancers who will be performing live were dancers who performed in the film, and the musician, a 15-year-old who will be performing for us, was actually part of the original score for the movie.
Wow.
Oh, okay. So like, you're getting extra tidbits here. Okay.
Absolutely.
So real quick, we're going to have Q&A at the event, but I'm going to give everybody a chance real quick before we let you guys go. 1 minute, ask any question you want, because this is the opportunity. You have the artist here. You have the main person here. So I'm going to give each person a chance to ask Radhika one question. Anything you want to ask her, this is the time to ask her. So, before thousands and thousands of people show up and they're all trying to ask her questions. So I'm going to start with you, Magda. Go ahead. Any question you want to ask her, this is your opportunity to throw it at her right now.
Are you kidding me? I got like a million questions, but the first one is like, really, because this is a huge journey. Like, this isn't just like, oh, I made a movie. I can imagine that this has been maybe a decade in the making, if I'm not wrong. Right?
11
probably.
years, yes.
Yeah. So it's probably very emotional and things. So I guess maybe, and I think just because this might work for a lot of people doing something big like this, whatever it might be in their life, but how did you prepare yourself emotionally and energetically for such a tremendous earmark in your life? Because I feel like this is like a really big milestone for you.
I'm a survivor of this genocide, right? And so for me, it's just that sense of responsibility. How do I prepare myself? By just going through it, right? Surviving it all, and knowing that I have so much privilege to be able to share and to tell and to speak on behalf of the people who can't speak anymore, and to, wow, how do I prepare? Every day I wake up and I'm grateful. Really, that's what it is. Every day I wake up and I'm grateful that I have life. I have the liberty to be able to, and the privilege to be a Canadian citizen, and I have freedom of rights. I have many freedoms, especially the one to speak freely. And that is one that I know that the people who are living on the island don't have that freedom. And so, I start my day, I prepare myself every day with gratitude that I'm blessed to be a Canadian citizen and have so many opportunities available to me to share on behalf of the hundreds of thousands who haven't been able to. Yeah, thank you.
Abby, you're up. What's the one question you want to ask?
One of the things that came up to my mind is watching and listening to everybody. You're a mom, and you're a mom of a daughter.
Mm-hmm.
And everything I do is about empowering women, and as an immigrant woman, and you going through what you went through and going back and this experience. What is the one thing that you want your daughter? We have this privilege, like you said, that we live in this country and we can speak up and we can have our opinion as a woman. What is it, the biggest message as a mother you want your daughter to take from this experience that you went through, going back home and making this?
Right. So interestingly, I left the war as a 5-year-old child, and we were filming the interviews when my daughter Maya was 5 as well. So she's in the film. Like if you look on the poster, she's the second person that's named in the film, because we hear her thoughts and her experiences of what life is today. And then there's a whole bunch of, as much as I try, as much as I work hard to interrupt it, passage of the intergenerational trauma. And so in the trailer, you see there's a piece where we're looking at photos, and this is the first time she's talking about her great grandmother. And the first question that comes to her about family is, did she die in the war? Um, I don't think a 5-year-old should connect family and war. And for me, I would love it if she is able to grow up and have conversations with her daughter, granddaughter, niece, nephew. I don't know, her in as an adult, for her to not have conversations where the first conversations that the child has, first thought the child has about family is war. But it's important that we do have those conversations so the children know our history, and by sharing our stories and our history is how we're going to make sure that our people's history is not fully erased, like what the government would like to happen. I need for her to know that even though things are scary, you still need to speak up. You need to tell your story. You must stand up and speak and be proud of who you are, even when other people are trying to kill you for your identity. You need to be proud of who you are and speak up loud, stand on the world scene, and proudly claim your identity and tell your story.
All right. Thank you so much. Vera,
Hello.
what's your question?
So, my question to you, Ratika, is, as you said, like you and I are sisters in many ways, like between Palestine and Tamil, and having like lived the genocide. I haven't lived firsthand the genocide, but like I'm witnessing it right now. And with something like that happening, there's a pushback on the truth being hidden, and there's a pushback on what you can say and what you cannot say, and there's more that you cannot say than what you can say. So, and I've obviously experienced that and still do firsthand as a Palestinian. So my question to you is, has there been a pushback while you were making this documentary? And okay, yeah, there you go. So if there's something you want to highlight and talk about, because it's important to shed the story on that. It's as important as people watching the documentary, because people often don't know what goes on in the background and how difficult it is to actually get the word out there and get the truth out there for people to see.
Of course, absolutely, Amira, and thank you for that. When we look at the stages of genocide, what's happening in Palestine right now is a mass massacre, right? That is the 9th phase, the second last phase of a genocide. And that's what we experienced as Tamils on the island nation that's known today as Sri Lanka, 15 years ago in May of 2009. And so we have transitioned to the final phase, which is denial. And that's exactly what's happening. The history of what happened the history is being rewritten. The government is basically gaslighting the world, and denying that a genocide has been happening and that it continues today, because we're in the last phase of that genocide, and that the genocide of Tamils continues on the island of Sri Lanka. The difficulties we faced, oh my goodness, we don't have enough time to talk about them. From the time that we decided we were going to make it, we didn't know who we could trust with the footage, because I was expecting sabotage and everywhere. And I didn't know at what level the Sri Lankan government has infiltrated anywhere, right? And they're everywhere in all facets of life. Even in just interview participants, right? We had participants come on board, and Ryan and the rest of the production team spent 2 days interviewing them. And then afterward, they'd say, you can't use my interview. I'm scared. My family says, because you talk about a genocide, we're scared as to what's going to happen to me or my family here in Canada, or what's going to happen to my family back home in Tamalulam. We're scared as to what's going to happen. So, no, you can't use my content. So, there's a lot of that happened. We even had production assistants or crew members come on board and help, and then realize, oh, there's a threat to my life now or my family's life, and have to leave the project. So we really had to create the documentary within a cone of silence because we didn't know who we could trust. And then now that it's ready and it's ready for the world, there's so much sabotage happening. There's so many, factions within the community or from outside the community, blockages happening. Oh, can't film it here, can't show it here, can't go here, we can't be there. Oh, we can't come, organizations that can't come and support. It's just been so much. But we know that the stories need to be told. And so we are bringing beautiful allies like you folks, and we're going to keep on persevering and fight the fight, because again, we're privileged to be Canadians, to be in Canada, and we have the choice to be scared or not, and to act or not. But the people who live under a genocidal regime don't have that choice. They wake up every day and only can survive. We have the choice to speak or not, so we got to speak.
All right. Last but definitely not least, sir.
Thank you, Matthew. The Civil War, Ratika, was a very sad event in our history. It affected your family, it affected your community, it affected your country. Very often, these are events that, in a way, we want to hide. We don't want to deal with it. And yet you're doing completely the opposite. You created a documentary, to show to, the people today of what happened in Sri Lanka. My question to you is that what started it all? Where did you get the motivation, the inspiration, and the energy to actually produce a documentary about it?
Of course, the armed struggle between Sri Lanka and Tamil Eelam was, like you said, really the pogroms, the 77 riots, but also the 83 pogroms is what really made it known on the world scene. And it was after that is when my family left. Shortly after that. Where did I get the motivation? It's recognizing that I have a voice. I didn't get killed in that war. I didn't my mother didn't have to be fearful that I was going to be, or my sisters were going to be raped on the way to or from school and killed. Whereas my aunt did worry about that. There's so many of our brethren who did worry about that. There's so many who are not with us anymore because of this war. And there are so many who have been orphaned, and there are a plethora more mothers who have lost their sons and children and husbands who are enforcibly disappeared. They are my strength. They are the reason that I keep fighting. They are the reason that I keep waking up and knowing that I have to, and I have the privilege of being able to fight and tell. They do this every day of their life. I get the choice to go play in the park with my child, or go be a college educator, or be a business owner and be an activist every day of my life. But I mean, my existence is political, and my existence is being an activist, right? No matter what I do, I am an activist because I speak for my experiences, and that is a piece of my people's experiences.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right.
You.
It is happening right there.
Sunday, May 5th, 5 p.m. is the red carpet reception.
Got to get there. Got to make sure you're there on time. You can't miss out. What are we doing? It's a gala. Have some fun. All right. So here it is, real quick. Before I let you guys all go, and I appreciate your time and you guys' insights on this. It's fantastic to talk to you about this film. In one word, round robin, tell everybody why they should come. Sir, I'm going to start with you. I ended with you. I'm going to start with you. In one word, why should they come?
Who are we starting with?
Anwar, I think.
Yep. Sorry. Go ahead, sir.
Hope.
Oh, like that one. There you go. Abby's like, all right, Abby, I'm gonna leave you for last because he took your word for you. Okay. Amira, what's your word?
Awareness.
Okay. Magda, what's your word?
Authenticity.
There you go. You ready, Abby?
Here we go. Education.
There you go. 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 All right. And then my word right now is called support. And I think everybody should support each other in whatever they do. You know, keep an open mind, learn from each other. And that's the main thing. I've learned so much by listening to all of you. Every day I learned something different. The questions you asked made me stronger, made me better. It's about support. And you need to support on this day, Sunday, May 5th, from 5 to 11. You can get tickets and Eventbrite. It's in the link. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you next time, everyone. Enjoy. And don't forget, tell a friend. Let them know what's going on. We'll see you next time. Bye, everyone.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Thank you. So much gratitude.
Bye.
Immigrant Women in Business, IWB, is a non-profit organization bringing together women from over 50 different countries around the globe. These women have now made Canada their home and share a common goal of providing value to their new sisters. Our motto of "We are stronger together" resonates with all members, and with a diverse membership of business leaders, entrepreneurs and community builders, our goal is to make Canada better and provide guidance and leadership to those that follow.
Has come to an end, but the fun doesn't have to stop here. If you have any questions, suggestions or feedback, head over right now to Twitter and Facebook and like, share and get involved. Join us next time.
Please be advised that this podcast is meant for educational and informational purposes only and is in no way a replacement for legal or medical advice. The opinions contained